It looks like it says I'm live on my screen, Jeannie. Does that mean we're good? I'm recording and live on YouTube.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yes, we're good to go. I apologize.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, that's taken a long time. All right. So, Lee, it looks like you're the vice chair on scene today. So what I'm going to do is I'll just share my screen with everybody so we can look at the agenda. So just stand by for 1 second while your screens change. If your screen doesn't change to the agenda, just let me know.
You there?
All right. Do you guys see that?
I can see it.
All right, awesome.
Sure do.
There we go. I can see it.
Is that thing working?
All right, Lee, whenever you want to get started.
All right. My name is Lee Cornelis. I'm the vice chair of the Southwest Bonner County Subcommittee, Area Plan Subcommittee, and I'm calling this meeting to order. I would imagine we want to do a roll call first. Unfortunately, I do not have the names of everybody in front of me. Got a helping hand on that, or do
I've got that.
you mind naming them off? Or
I'll do it.
okay. Thank
Am
you.
I muted still? Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead, Jeannie.
Okay. Joshua Johnson, Lee Corn.
Can't even hear you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, we
missing-
can't hear you on the phone.
Lee Cornelison,
Here.
Jim Boyer, Andrew Scott,
Here.
Karen Jones, here, Ron Smith,
Here.
Brett Van Buskirk,
Thought I heard him
Brett.
earlier.
Yeah,
He's
I think
muted. He's
just
muted.
muted.
Did that work?
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
so Brett's present,
I'm
Troy
here.
Westphal,
I'm here.
Troy is here.
Dan Lesko.
I'm here.
Okay, that's everyone.
All right.
All right.
So I guess this whole thing is about kind of getting used to this new Zoom format we have and meeting via webinars. And I don't really know diddly about that. So can we get some info on it, or?
Yeah, I'll just take it away. So this is Amanda, and it seems like the airwaves are really slow tonight. I noticed that a lot of folks are breaking in and out, and my computer's taking a while to load things. So we'll just have to be patient. Hopefully everybody can hear me and there's no weird background sound or anything like that. We just kind of wanted to do a test run with the Zoom with everyone to make sure your mics are working. You can hear staff and each other, and we can just kind of get used to this platform. We don't know how long we're going to use this, but it is good to just kind of get this dry run in. We may never come back to Zoom, but it is a really good tool that we've been using with some of the other subcommittees. So a couple of things I just want to share with everybody about Zoom that I think will be helpful as we move forward is that you can keep yourself on mute, and if you press your space bar, you can unmute yourself to speak. You guys are actually really quiet as opposed to some of the other committees. There's a lot of resonance and playback and it's really hard to hear each other. But if you have a noisy house, you have things going on or you're shuffling around or doing things at the table, sometimes we can hear that. So it is really helpful to just stay muted. And when you want to speak, like I said, you can press that space bar. Of course, if you're using your computer, I know Andrew, you're on the phone, so your platform is going to be a little bit different, but you can just press the space bar and hold it on your computer and then speak. So that's one helpful hint. Another couple of helpful things with Zoom is that there is a chat feature. I think if you hover either at the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen, you'll see something called participants and or like a chat feature. And so if you're having trouble, you can send a chat out and we can help you from the background to try to figure things out. Once you're in the participants view, there's also a hand raising feature. So if you're having trouble or you want to say something and you're trying to talk and we can't hear you, yeah, thanks, Ron, raise your hand. So I don't know if everybody can see those features on their screens. I don't know if we want to try to all raise our hand on this program to make sure it's working. Nice. Thanks, guys. Sweet. So if you can't find that feature, just let me know and we can help you out. I think everybody did it. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So basically this is Zoom. And Dan, you still have your hand up. I don't know. Do you have any comments?
No, not this time. No, this is kind of a new thing. Deanna's kind of trying to help me out with this.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I wasn't sure. Some folks have used Zoom before, and so they'll actually raise their hand because they want to speak. So if you have something to interject, feel free to raise your hand. Yeah, no problem. I just wasn't sure. So anyway, this is Zoom. We just wanted to do a quick test run. Is everybody having any trouble at all hearing me? Or, you know, is it coming in clear?
This is Ron. I hear you fine.
Awesome. Thanks. Cool. And everybody can
Yeah,
see
this is
the
Dan
agenda.
here. Every now and then it sounds like a little bit of electric static coming through.
Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe I'll turn my volume down. There we go. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, this is Zoom. We just wanted to give it a try with you guys. You know, if we do have to have a meeting using this platform, instead of looking at the agenda, we can look at that spreadsheet we've been working on, or maybe getting a draft together for your committee. So that's really all I have on my end. Milton or Josh or any of the other staff, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add on our dry run for Zoom today, but that's pretty much it. We just wanted to make sure everyone could get on. I can hear everyone perfectly. I think this could be a good thing to use if we need to. So yeah.
Oh, that's good. On our agenda, it shows that we're going to be talking about some progress of the overall plan, I guess. I mean, last time we were here, if I remember right, we kind of left it off at talking about the roads, and there was another thing we were going on about that I forget now. But did we want to get an update on any of that? I mean,
yeah, I would love to talk about that actually. So right when our meetings were canceled, when the stay-at-home work order came through, I did send out an email asking the committee if they wanted to do homework over the last month and what our status was on some of those things. I think you're correct. We had transportation to get through on that matrix we've been working on, and then also the status of the Rathdrum Prairie Aquifer topic that we had embarked on. So those were two topics that we were going to do a little bit of homework on and then get some more information on. I don't know if we'll dive too deep into those topics right now, but I did want to check in with the committee about maybe circulating some emails so that we can put some of that information together for the next meeting. Did anybody take a look at those things or work on the matrix at all, or have any feedback for the committee about those items?
I'd kind of forgotten about the aquifer thing now that I think about it. That was the other thing. I know, Andrew, that was kind of your bag on that one. Did you get anything extra by chance?
I didn't get anything extra, but I have all the information at my finger. I mean, not all, but I have what I can bring to the committee or share if we need to. I didn't want it to derail us, but I just wanted it to make sure that people are aware that that's something that's out there for sure.
Imagine with all this stuff going on, they probably don't really do anything like get back to you on your question in regards to it.
I did. Their answer was our office is closed.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. A lot of stuff is just really slow right now. Well, how does the group feel about putting in some time with that matrix before we meet next? Can I circulate that via email? Do folks have time to look at that before we meet in another month?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I would have plenty of time, I think.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
possible.
Yep, that'd work.
awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'll send that out
Yes,
tomorrow
that will
morning.
work.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll send that out tomorrow morning so we can kind of wrap it up. Another thing I've been working on is I realized when we had our meeting canceled that we don't even have an official draft for your committee yet. And even though I wasn't sure what would go in the draft, I had a pretty good idea and I did put something together for your group. I think I'm just going to go ahead and share it tomorrow. It is not something your group has to use, but I wanted to send an idea out of what your draft could look like. Essentially, all I put together was a summary of the community survey and then the topics we've talked about. So it's got some stuff about the Rathdrum Prairie Aquifer in there. It's got some basic stats about population and then all the goals and policies we've kind of put together over the last year. Yeah, Ron, your hand's up. Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I have a question. Jim, I was reading some of Jim's emails earlier, and he was actually trying to go between the 6.5 acres sort of thing that was brought up and then going back down to 5. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, I do remember getting that email. I didn't receive any comments. I don't know if any of you responded to him and had any feedback about that. I know at the last meeting, we kind of made a last minute decision to change it from 5 to 6.5. So I think that topic is still open for discussion, but that's really up to the group. Did anyone correspond with Jim and give him some feedback on that from the committee?
No, there was no email here.
Oh, you didn't get an email, Dan?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Okay, I'll try to forward that information to you again.
Great.
It's been a
Thank you.
while. See if I can even remember it.
Didn't
Yeah.
that come? Didn't
April
that come
13th.
as part of an email that Jeannie sent out, and then he responded. He made a
Right.
comment. As
Yeah,
an
it was about
attachment on
about
that.
April 13th is what it looks like. The date was that he sent it, I guess.
What I'll do is I'll just forward his email to the group again. I think we'll have what I imagined would happen is that we'd have a conversation about it at our next real meeting, because it is a good topic and he does bring up some good points in there. So yeah, I think we'll have a discussion about that. Nothing is final until it's done. So we will talk about that. In the meantime, I will send out that little table we've been working on with all the information in it, and see if I can get some more feedback from you guys over the next month. And as I mentioned, I'm just going to go ahead and send a sample draft that I put together. Again, no pressure to use it, but I'd really like to see some information put together that we can present to the P&Z. I think your group is really close and you could be done if it's all just put in one nice package that we can present. And so that's going to kind of be my goal this summer, is to get you guys to that point where we're close to being able to take your work to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So don't be afraid to shred that up and just add your own information into it, put your own language into it, remove goals and policies I'd put in there if they don't work, or add some that are missing. I did my best to guess at what your group would want for your area based off of all the meetings we've had. And I did go back and read minutes and look at agendas and previous topics that we talked about. So I did my best to put that together, considering we haven't met in quite some time. So I'll send that out. I hope that's okay. I don't want to pressure folks to do anything, but I think it would be good to get stuff put together for the P&Z. So that's my plan right now. I don't know if anybody else has any comments about that information I just gave out.
I think any
This is
project-
Andrew. I got a couple comments. First of all, Amanda, ultimately, will it be your office that actually drafts our final plan?
You know, actually, it doesn't have to be. Each group has done it so differently. Some groups have no interest in writing it and they just want staff to put it together, and then they go in and edit it. They'll edit the verbiage and then some of the goals and policies. And then we've had other groups want it to be completely authored by someone in the committee. So we haven't really talked about it with your group. So I wasn't sure, and I've been hesitant to just put it in my words because I wasn't sure if someone in your group preferred to author the document. So I know that doesn't completely answer your question. I guess it could go either way. It's up to the group.
Okay, that's what I want to know. We have options. It's not one or the other.
Absolutely. Yep. You can use pieces of it. You can write your own. You can use all of it. So yeah, absolutely. Lots of options.
Okay, I have two comments to the group. First of all, I think at our next meeting, we should make that decision whether we are going to have it internally drafted by somebody in our group or whether we're going to have planning and zoning or, Amanda's group do it. My other comment is, like Amanda indicated, I too would like to see a deadline for when this is going to be presented to the P&Z, sort of when we're going to wrap this up. I think we've been working on it for a good long time, and I think we're close, but we do probably need to mandate ourselves some type of a deadline, or else, if deadlines aren't set, a lot of times things don't get done. So I think it'll be helpful. That's all.
When did this meeting subcommittee start?
2017, was it?
Yeah, I
28?
think so. Yeah.
17.
You remember what month by chance?
I remember I was not there at the first meeting and I was appointed. So I want to say it was early summer, maybe. I don't remember.
It was 2018.
What I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
So that's-
2017 is like, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, it's still 2 years, so I think this group, we can do it.
Yeah, how about the end of summer, say August, September?
That's fine. I'm not mandating when. I just think if we give ourselves a deadline, we will work towards it as opposed to no deadline. So that would be fine with.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Andrew. I think we've talked about every single topic we can talk about, and it's just a matter of drafting the document now and getting through it. The only thing we haven't physically done is laid down the land use designations on a map. So that'll be our next big group effort once we get things in writing. So I agree. I think at the next meeting, setting up some sort of timeline and talking about a reasonable effort towards completion would be really good. Lee, you've got your hand up if you got a comment there.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe at this next meeting, send the draft, and I think we should maybe all look at it, add anything, detract anything, or say it's all good, send it back to her. And then the next meeting, we have at least kind of something rough to work with, whether we decide to write it or whether we're like, okay, it's good if we add all this, this, and this, and that's fine. We need to have something, I think, in writing. Sooner is better.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And this is Andrew. My comment to that is yes. And if somebody doesn't like what Amanda puts out or doesn't like the structure of it, then they should come up with an ulterior idea that we can discuss. So if they, that just helps us to go a different direction if that's the case, instead of just poo-pooing what you did. So that'd be real helpful if anybody doesn't like it to bring a different outline.
Agreed.
Cool, that sounds good to me. That's very constructive and fair. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll send that out. Just so you guys know, I did go back through a lot of committee documents have been submitted over time. And I did dig through the archives and try to use language that your group has submitted. Actually, Andrew, I've used a lot of your language, some of the goals and policies you've submitted in the past. I don't know if they're still relevant, but you'll probably recognize them. So yeah, I tried to put in as much as possible from your group and from people that live in the community. So I will share that and we will talk about it. at the next meeting. So I think next meeting's agenda, I'm kind of putting a list together. Maybe we'll talk about the timeline for completion. We'll talk about the proposed draft, and then we'll wrap up that matrix of all the different land use designations. Does that sound like a fair assertion of what we want to accomplish at next month's meeting?
Yes.
Awesome.
Maybe the
Okay.
meeting after that you were talking about, we could maybe put some of those land use designations onto a map.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that will be the meeting after next. As long as we can get through that matrix, you'll see in the draft I send out that I have a lot of blanks because we haven't made decisions yet on lot size minimums or transportation or number of dwelling units allowed per parcel. So anytime you see a blank, that's just like a to be determined by your group kind of thing. So I just put little placeholders in like that. So yeah, as long as we get through the matrix and I can finish that portion of the draft, I feel confident that we'll be putting some colors on a map in the next month and a half or so. So
Sounds good.
cool.
Thank you, Emily, for putting that together. I'm sorry, Amanda, for putting that together.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm happy to. I've honestly been sitting on it for a few months, and now I feel regretful that I haven't just given it to you guys. I've been kind of a little shy to get it out because I've been waiting to see what your group wanted to do. So I'm happy to share, and yeah, I'll send that
Well, we've
out.
all been sitting at home waiting for it. We
Oh,
just
no.
want to type.
Sorry.
Nothing to do.
Well, that's good to hear. I will get it out. I will not delay any longer. So that's great. I will send that. And honestly, that's all I have, you guys. I don't want to take up too much of your evening. This was just a quick little dry run to see if this would work for everybody, you know, just in case Idaho didn't open by the time our next meeting rolls around. And, you know, I don't know, Milton may have more to say on that. This may be the platform we use next time too, but yeah, it's good. I can hear everyone, and I think this is working pretty good. Hey, Ron, you got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff had a question in the chat.
Oh,
Did you
okay.
notice?
Nope, sorry. Let's take a look here. My chat is very
Amanda,
hidden. Yep.
we can probably just allow for public comment if the committee wanted to.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Any comments before we shut down?
Yeah.
From members or public, that's fine.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and allow him to talk. So, Jeff, you should be able to unmute yourself and talk if you would like.
Okay, does that work now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, my phone rings at the same time. So I'm just coming up to speed a little bit in the work you've been doing the last couple of years. I downloaded most of the minutes and the agendas from the website, and I think I talked to Milton about 10 days ago. But I was just wondering if there's any other, publicly available stuff as far as some of the work product you're working on. I'd love to be able to read it before the next meeting.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So any work that the committee has done is live on the web. I think the only thing that we haven't posted in a bit is the land use matrix we were just talking about.
Yeah, and maybe a map or two, just not quite sure where the boundaries are or any of that. So just anything that, it's at draft stage. I just would like to perhaps make a comment or two in future meetings. It just would be nice to do a little looking at it first.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll do, Jeff, is I'll touch base with our admins, and I'll be sure to get a map of the boundary posted up, and then the land use matrix, which I think is really the only official document we've put together so far.
Okay.
I'd like to circulate my proposed draft first to the committee. That's not going to be up on the website because that's not been approved by these guys yet.
Sure,
so,
that's fine.
Yeah, that'll be the next meeting. But absolutely, I appreciate your comments very much, and I do need to get that website updated. So maybe stand by over the next day, maybe 24 hours, and I'll get that stuff posted up.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Does anyone else have any comments or anything?
Nothing?
Okay.
All right. Well, if that's the case, this is Lee. vice chair of the committee, and I'm motioning that we adjourn this committee till next month.
All right.
Can I get a second?
I think Ron raised his hand. That might have been a second.
Yeah,
And
that
then-
was a second. Yeah, that was a second.
Thanks, Ron.
Actually, the chair can't make the motion, sorry. Somebody else is gonna have to motion.
Okay.
Okay, Ron makes the motion to go ahead and split.
This is Andrew. He seconds it.
Okay,
Gotta love these rules.
4:29.
Now you got to vote.
Oh.
Bye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
None. So this meeting is hereby adjourned.
All right.
Amanda,
thanks,
can I
guys.
ask you one question?
Absolutely.
Does Zoom download something on your computer